They ignore proposals made by various groups who would come in handy when the document is taken to a vote. The two leaders also face the risk of dragging the process if they allow amendments to be done before the plebiscite. Our Jeff Kirui reports on the thin line between BBI success and failure.
In what could yet again spark fresh row over the BBI report, ODM leader Raila Odinga's sentiments that the document will not be reopened for new ideas has thrown the spanner in the works for the groups that had hoped that their new proposals will be incorporated. Odinga on Monday gave an assurance that the 11th reducible minimum submitted by the pastoralist group will be addressed.
The issue of revenue sharing, then the issue of equalization fund, the issue of livestock marketing authority. And we say that some of those issues can and will be taken on board.
But Tuesday, he made an about-turn, saying there is no likelihood of amending the document. The pronouncement that generated tough balancing act for the handshake duo President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga, especially for groups that have threatened to reject the BBI process if their demands are not met.
There is no way it will be reopened. Anybody trying to tell you that they are going to have any further conversation about this document, they are deceiving themselves.
The ODM leader Raila Odinga has found himself in an awkward position where if he fails to approve the changes, he risks facing revolt towards his brainchild. And if he yields, then he risks bowing to the demands of his political nemesis, Deputy President William Ruto, who has been pushing for consensus.
There are people who are really trying to mislead the President and the former Prime Minister and drag them down a treacherous path. Anybody who's against consensus really is not for BBI, because BBI is building bridges, so why would you want to break bridges?
I'm just hoping that soberness will prevail and that even as they discuss, that we should be able to accommodate each other's views.
The turn of events throwing into disarray the various proposals from different groups, among them the Council of Governors, who also spelled out their demands to the BBI document. According to the sources within the BBI Secretariat, allowing changes to the BBI document portends a risk of dragging the process further than anticipated, compounded by the fact that the term for the BBI task force has already lapsed.
I want to beseech upon the two principals not to tire to consult with all stakeholders. And let nobody tell them that they are going to slow down the process. We would rather slow down the process, but at the end of the day, come up with a document that is going to achieve the dreams as encapsulated in the 9-point agenda of the handshake.
Jeff Kirui, KTN News.
What motivated?
In tomorrow's edition of The Standard, this big story, of course, is tomorrow's State of the Nation address by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru's last bullet is the headline tomorrow, of course, focusing on the President's second last State of the Nation address that is said to be addressing key issues that have been gripping the nation that seem to have recast the President's priorities. That full story is on page 6 of The Standard tomorrow. Meanwhile, on page 7 of The Standard, one of the issues that Kenyans expect the President to touch on, the BBI, the handshake team, politicians led by Minority Leader in the Senate, Kisiaya Senator James Orengo, and the Majority Leader Samuel Pogisho have been making changes, final changes to the BBI report ahead of signature collection expected to begin on Monday. Be sure to check out that story in more details in page 7. For this and much more stories, be sure to grab your copy of The Standard tomorrow. A Kenya Medical Supplies Agency, KEMSA, will lose 2.3 billion shillings by selling dead stock